Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Star Trek. Discovery actor Wilson Cruz doesn't mince words about how Star Trek, Strange New Worlds getting a musical episode made him feel so enraged. Star Trek. Discovery ended in 2024 after 5 seasons on Paramount+. Star Trek, Strange New Worlds is nearing the end of Season 3, with 2 more seasons to come. Directed by Dermot Downes with original music by Tom Pulse and Kay Hanley from Letters to Cleo, Star Trek, Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 9, Subspace Rhapsody, became the Star Trek franchise's first ever musical. However, Wilson Cruz reveals a musical was promised to Star Trek Discovery long before Strange New Worlds. At STLV, Trek to Vegas, Wilson Cruz appeared on stage with his Star Trek Discovery co-star, Anthony Rapp, for a panel moderated by Trek Movies' Laurie Ulster. Star Trek Strange New Worlds musical garnered, the prequel led by Anson Mount as Captain Christopher Pike, a great deal of mainstream attention. Sing-along events popped up at conventions, and there has even been discussion of turning Subspace Rhapsody into a stage musical on Broadway. Wilson Cruz's revelation that a musical was first discussed during Star Trek Discovery season may first help explain why it never happened. Discovery experienced major creative changes behind the scenes. Showrunners Aaron Harberts and Gretchen Berg left after Season 1 and were replaced by Alex Kurtzman and Michelle Paradise. Paradise then became solo showrunner for Disco's latter seasons. Meanwhile, Akiva Goldsman moved on to become co-showrunner of Star Trek Strange New Worlds with Henry Alonso Myers, and the concept of a Star Trek musical shifted to Strange New Worlds, which has a cast of musically talented performers like Celia Rose Gooding, Christina Chong, and Rebecca Romijn. Wilson Cruz's feelings about Star Trek Discovery being passed over for a musical episode are understandable and justified. After all, many members of Star Trek Discovery's cast are also talented veterans of musical theater. Cruz and Anthony Rapp both starred in the Broadway production of Rent. Cruz's revelation that Star Trek Discovery was originally promised a musical is news to me. It must have been frustrating for Wilson to repeatedly see Disco's musical episode stalled, only for Strange New Worlds to get the honor, although that cast did an excellent job. Star Trek Discovery's intense, dramatic, and action-packed, serialized format likely would have made fitting in a whimsical musical episode difficult, although it might also have been a welcome change of pace. Star Trek Discovery's musical episode will now be one of Star Trek's greatest what-if questions. When Star Trek Strange New Worlds boldly went where no Trek had gone before, a full-blown musical episode, fans were divided. But behind the scenes, one actor in particular reportedly felt more than just conflicted. Wilson Cruz, beloved by Star Trek Discovery fans for his role as Dr. Hugh Culber, has always been a passionate advocate for storytelling that stretches Trek's boundaries. But when the news dropped that Strange New Worlds would be the one to get a glittery, Broadway-style musical episode, sources say Cruz was nothing short of enraged. Since its launch in 2017, Star Trek Discovery has been many things: ambitious, emotional, divisive, experimental, but it has rarely been lighthearted. While the series has explored grief, trauma, war, and survival in the farthest reaches of space, it hasn't been afforded many moments to simply play. Discovery has had its glimpses of levity, Saru's awkward humor, Tilly's charming ramblings, Stamets' dry wit, but its overall tone has remained firmly in the realm of prestige sci-fi with high stakes. A musical episode with elaborate choreography and cheeky original songs could have been the perfect pressure valve, a joyful detour from the often bleak landscapes the USS Discovery crew traverses. Instead, Strange New Worlds, the younger sibling in the Trek family, lighter by design, more episodic, more playful, swooped in and claimed the honor of Trek's first-ever musical extravaganza. For Cruz, whose theatrical roots run deep, he began his career on stage, including Rent. This felt like a cosmic injustice. Wilson Cruz isn't just an actor who happens to be able to carry a tune, he's Broadway trained. Before Starfeet came calling, Cruz dazzled audiences in the groundbreaking musical Rent, embodying Angel, one of the show's most iconic characters. His ability to blend vulnerability with charisma, his voice carrying both power and tenderness, made him a standout in musical theater long before Trek fandom claimed him. So when news hit that Strange New Worlds would feature Captain Pike and his crew suddenly bursting into song across the galaxy, insiders say Cruz was livid. According to one production whisper, his reaction was, "If true, it's hard not to sympathize." Discovery had, right there in its main cast, two of Broadway's brightest stars, Rapp and Cruz. Two actors who could not only sing but command an entire stage with their presence. And yet, rather than penning a one-of-a-kind musical for them, Paramount saved its experiment for the shinier, newer Strange New Worlds. Of course, there's another layer to Cruz's alleged fury. Discovery could have pulled off a musical episode in a way Strange New Worlds simply couldn't. Strange New Worlds episode leaned heavily into its campy nature. The premise that a subspace anomaly caused everyone on board to involuntarily sing their innermost feelings was delightfully absurd, and the episode embraced its own theatricality. But Discovery, with its penchant for grand, emotional arcs, might have used a musical format to dig deeper into the psyche of its characters. Imagine a Culber solo exploring his identity as a man who literally died and came back to life. Imagine Stamets and Culber performing a duet about the balance of love and duty. Imagine Michael Burnham belting out a power ballad about the crushing weight of destiny, her voice cracking in just the right places. Imagine Tilly delivering a comedic patter song about anxiety that ends in self-acceptance. It could have been moving, powerful, even transcendent. With Cruz and Rapp at the helm, it would have been Broadway quality, not just TV musical cute. For Cruz, the thought of all those lost possibilities must sting. A fan campaign emerges. What's fascinating is that Cruz's alleged behind-the-scenes frustration has sparked a movement among fans. After the musical episode aired, Trek Twitter exploded not only with reactions to the songs themselves, but also with calls for Discovery to get its own musical send-off before the series ends. Give Wilson and Anthony their stage. One fan tweeted, "They earned it." Others pointed out that it felt almost cruel for Trek to pass up on having two Rent alumni front and center in a musical, a chance for nostalgia, talent, and Trek history to collide. A Change.org petition has even begun circulating demanding Paramount greenlight a short musical special starring the Discovery cast. While such petitions rarely move mountains, it's proof that the fandom sees what Cruz has been saying all along. Discovery deserved its chance to sing. The personal edge. Of course, Cruz's rage, as some reports have dramatized it, likely isn't pure anger. Cruz has always been fiercely passionate, both about his work and the representation it carries. As one of the first openly gay actors in a main role on a Star Trek series, he has carried the weight of breaking barriers, of representing communities often overlooked in sci-fi. That passion naturally extends to his art, and when he sees missed opportunities, especially ones he's uniquely suited for, his frustration is understandable. Enraged? Perhaps. But maybe the better word is heartbroken. Cruz knows firsthand the power of music to tell stories no dialogue alone can reach. He's lived it on stage. He's carried that with him into Trek. And to watch another series take that leap while his own is left in the shadows, that would crush anyone. What happens next? With Discovery entering its final season, the window for a full-blown musical episode has likely closed. But Cruz's voice, and the voices of fans, may still echo loudly enough to spark some kind of compromise. A musical short? A staged concert version of Discovery's story? Even a tie-in soundtrack with Broadway-caliber performances? These are all possibilities that could honor both the series and the talents of the cast. And perhaps that's what Cruz's rage is really about, not envy, but urgency. The knowledge that Discovery, so often criticized or overlooked compared to its sister series, deserves a final, unforgettable flourish. Something bold, something heartfelt, something worthy of the legacy it has built. Final thoughts. In the grand tradition of Trek, this isn't really about rivalry between shows. It's about the hunger for stories that push boundaries, that dare to try something different. Wilson Cruz's reported fury at Strange New Worlds getting the musical crown isn't pettiness. It's a cry for fairness, for recognition, for the chance to let Discovery shine in the way it always could. Because if there's one truth Trek has taught us, it's that voices deserve to be heard. And Wilson Cruz, with his Broadway background and his heart on his sleeve, is a voice Trek should never silence. Who knows? Maybe someday, on some stage or screen, we'll get to hear him sing again. Not as Angel, not as Culber, but as both. And when that happens, every fan will know the rage was worth it. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.